Welcome to Unity of Boulder. My name is Ed Bruder, and I am sitting in tonight for Jack and Norma. Tonight's going to be a little different type of meditation that is going to be centered around the honeybees. I want to start with a clearing prayer, a prayer of intention, and I ask that you hold all the names that are in the prayer box. Mother, Father, God, we ask for a clearing of this space and give thanks for this clearing. We ask for a clearing of ourselves and give thanks for this clearing. We ask that our guides and angels and the spirits of our ancestors come to us at this time and vibrate close to us so that we can sense their loving presence with us tonight. We give them permission to touch the light within us, and we allow that light to vibrate and move throughout our being, removing any blocks, any barriers, any fears, any resistance we hold, any misalignment, and anything that seemingly separates us from the light. We touch it gently with our light and transform it into light. With each easy, gentle transformation, we allow this light to grow and expand and move beyond ourselves. And we ask that all our individual lights join together now in this moment to form one great light to assist in the clearing of the space. We send this light into our community, touching it and blessing it with love and with light, wherever it is called, wherever it is needed. We send this light into our homes, blessing and aligning our homes with love and with light. We bless our families, our friends, our loved ones, our neighbors, our associates, those we have met, those we will meet, and those we will never meet. We ask now that in this moment we feel the power and love in this connection of light. And now from the heart and center of this church, we send forward across this planet a holy, radiant web of light, connecting us all, aligning us all in one love and in one light. And we send this light to touch the heart of our Mother Earth, blessing her and giving thanks for her bountiful gifts and all of her goodness. So be it. I was thinking about when I was 13 years old and I had taken my first job in order to buy a camera. The world of photography was such a mystery back in the early 70s to me. Back in that day, you had to buy a roll of film, and that roll of film needed to be developed. There was no instant gratification like we have today with the devices that we have extending at the end of our hands. You had to wait for the film to be developed. And back in the day, there were two buttons on the camera. One was for program and one was for auto. And both of those buttons let the camera decide what were the best settings for the type of picture you wanted to take. And I used those settings until I learned what all the buttons and dials meant. But because it was film, and you had as many as 36 shots on a roll, you had to have intention with each shot you took. When Santisha asked me to do this meditation, and I was wondering what I would talk about, I heard on NPR a story, and I'm going to quote it. Studies have confirmed a correlation between the use of preset filters, body dysmorphia, low self-esteem, anxiety, depression, and a desire to get plastic surgery. No longer do we merely compare ourselves to others, but to altered, perfected, illusionary images of ourselves. And we're talking about teenagers. I can't prove it, but I suspect that this was the beginning of the end of Atlantis. So what do photographs mean to us today? We rarely print them. We rarely frame them. They're taken, and then they're unrealistically modified, often shared with the world. Then they're forgotten. There's very little attention paid to what goes into taking the photograph. The emphasis is on how to artificially enhance the image. So I started thinking about what is presented to you in your mobile device when you take a picture and how it relates to our life in general. We're often first presented with the option of a preset or a filter or an auto setting that relates to an unconscious or at least subconscious attempt to accept what someone else has decided is best for this moment of time that you've captured. It does create an illusionary perception of ourselves. It makes us look younger, thinner, prettier. And what that does is it triggers little itsy bitsy dopamine releases in our brain. And it's those things that become habit forming. But if you look deeper and you become a deliberate or intentional photographer, you find a setting that you can adjust called exposure. And we relate to exposure as what are we exposing ourselves to in our day-to-day life? Are our children playing violent video games? Are we watching 24-hour news? Are we watching celebrities in their lives? What are we exposing ourselves and our children to that filters through our consciousness, that becomes part of our everyday life and existence? The next one is brilliance. How much do we individually want to shine in this world? Do we want to fade into the background, or do we want to stand out? Do we want the attention that comes with brilliance? The next one is highlights. Highlights is what turns down the brightest parts of your photo. What type of relationships do we have that turn down our brightness? Is it maybe our jobs? Is it our hobbies? Our relationships? The next one is our shadow. What power do we give to our shadow? How much do we let that darkness filter into our everyday life? The next one is contrast. And in this three-dimensional world, contrast, that's where our free will is. It's in that duality. That's the journey that we're on as spirits. in these physical bodies? How do we deal with the contrast that life offers? Do we paddle our rafts against the current, or do we flow with it? Do we know what we want only first by figuring out what it is we don't want? It's in that contrast that we find those things. The next setting is brightness. Overall, how bright do we want to shine? How do we want to present ourselves to the world, to those around us? How do we show up? The next one is our black point. The black point sets the threshold for how rich the darkness is in our life. The next one is saturation. How much of these things that we have been exposed to, how much of these things that we've dialed in our contrast, how much of the colorful and sublime do we bring forth in our everyday lives, in our relationships, in what we leave as our mark on the world? The next one is vibrance. How much joy and happiness do we get out of life? Is our happiness situational? When the people in our lives do the things that they've learned to make us happy, the situational happiness, when you're in this space, when you're on a ball field, when you're in your new car? Is your happiness dependent on things that are not born inside you? How much is our vibrance part of lighting up a room when we walk into it? The next one is warmth. How compassionate, empathetic, how present are we for those people whose paths we cross? How much of ourselves are we willing to give to others? Sharpness. How fine do we put a point on the things that matter most to us? When it calls us to make hard decisions about who to align with and who to let go of. Clarity. That's the prize. That's the one button that makes some of the biggest difference in a photograph. Clarity. I know in my meditation, that's what I look for. My intention is clarity. I want to be aligned with my soul, my essence, my purpose, and my intention follows that alignment. Clarity is important because it allows all of the other settings. It brings out the best in all those settings. We have definition. How do we define ourselves? How does that presented to the world? Who are we? Are we what we're doing? Or is the beingness of us what precedes us into any space we go into? Noise reduction. How well can we filter out the noise of the world? The constant buzzing of noise, of cars, of traffic, of people. Are we able to bring the noise down so that we can commune with nature? We can be one with this environment that we're in? And the last one is a vignette. The vignette is the thing that creates this little bubble that surrounds you, or the subject of your photo. It creates a hard or soft line between you and everything around you. Is our bubble protecting us, keeping us safe? Is it keeping the world out? Or is it keeping us in? So you think about the effect of our deliberate and intentional attention to these details. And when you think that these photographs that you're taking with these devices are capturing 1/250th of a second, all that intention, all that focus on 1/4 of a second, what would it be like if we live our lives with that same deliberate intention? The meditation we're going to do tonight is from a CD of a Boulder beekeeper. He is the founder of backyardhive.com. His name is Corwin Bell. And Corwin spent a year recording the sounds of the bees, the humming, the buzzing, at the various stages of the bee's life. He says the voice of the honeybees, the light of hum, is an enchanting blend of ancient instruments, synth, and affirmations masterfully woven around the voice of honeybees, which can be a vehicle for transformation, healing, and spiritual exploration. Evocative and replenishing, this interweave of honeybee hum, song with chant, song and music creates a unique soundscape for journeying and meditation. It was performed and produced by Corwin Bell, recorded by Daryl Laham. And Corwin, as I said, is the founder of backyardhive.com, the Bee Guardian organization, and they're a network of backyard beekeepers committed to supporting the health and welfare of the honeybees. These bee guardians are working worldwide with the bees, integrating them back into our lives and the environment while providing them with supportive, chemical-free surroundings to live in. When I told Corwin I was going to do the bees during this meditation, I asked him if he wanted to provide a message. And this is what he wrote. Imagine this. The bees started humming 20 million years ago and have not stopped humming day or night, winter or spring, year after year, century after century. Their sound vibration has not stopped resounding across this planet. Only now have they come to a precarious point in evolution where their hum may stop. So tonight's meditation is this piece of music. And this piece of music incorporates each different cycle of the bee's life. And so let's find a comfortable position. And I always find it funny to say that, because why aren't we always sitting in a comfortable position? And I can tell you how I use this. I've found it very difficult personally to sit in silence. and stillness. And as Jack always says, meditation is not the absence of sound, the absence of noise or thought, or the absence of distraction. It is finding God in every noise and thought, every distraction. And so I use this as a vehicle. I set my intention to be receptive. I don't limit how I hear this. I don't limit or judge where my mind or spirit goes through this. So I invite you to let this take you wherever it takes you. I present to you the light of home.
The light,
friends. Welcome, my friends. Welcome, my friends. Welcome, my friends. Welcome, my friends.
from many universes away. Oh, we could see the glowing in the Milky Way. We told you we would be back again. Oh, how you cried as we turned towards the sun. We knew we would return one day. Oh, you must have found the treasures that we left behind. We knew that one day you would find the treasures we left in your mind. Oh, the treasures in your mind. Oh, you must have seen the stories. Oh, the treasures in your mind. Oh, you must have found the stories. Oh, now you know.
Give thanks for the bees. They provided the very first food and medicine. And as it said, as the bees go, so go the humans. We'll take an offering for unity now. If you're watching online, there's a number of ways you can donate. The links are right down there. Take your offerings in your hand and let's bless them with this offering statement. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive because I give. I'd also like to say that a small number of people carry this ministry. Beyond your financial gifts, consider gifting your time and your talent, whether it's an hour or two clearing weeds from around the parking lot, or sharing your talents in whichever way you can. This is a community, just like the bees, and we all have something to offer for the health of the hive. Good night.